Swinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyoma Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Vasudevendra Yogindram Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattvabodho Vidiyate Tattvabodho Vidiyate. Just reviewing what we have done earlier. Open page 25 of the book. आत्मा तर्हिकः आत्मा तर्हिकः सच्चिदानन्दस्वरूपः सच्चिदानन्दस्वरूपः सत्यं सत्यं कालत्रयोऽपि तिष्ठति इति सत् चित्किं ज्ञानस्वरूपः आनन्दः कः सुखस्वरूपः एवं सच्चिदानन्द स्वरूपं स्वात्मानं विजानीयात्. The question was asked, Atma Tarhikaha. So this is Tattvabodha, and it is an introductory text of Vedanta. It gives us a complete overview of what the Vedanta Upanishads have to teach us, and it teaches us the meaning of this Mahavakya, major statement, Tattvamasi, that thou art. Tattvamasi, Tvam means you, Tat means that, Asi means are. You are that. What is that? The pronoun that stands for Ishvara, for Brahman, for Paramatma. The pronoun you stands for the individual self that we are. And Upanishad says that you are Brahman. You are not a small, limited being but you are in fact Brahman, you are limitless. This is the teaching of the Upanishads. We talked about it last night also, but this is what Upanishads teach. That whatever is Ishvara. Whatever is Brahman. Whatever is God. Even this one statement also we can meditate nicely. Whatever is divine. And that includes me also, that I am also divine. Particularly when you feel very bad about yourself for having done something which you think you should not have done, or being treated by somebody in an unfair manner or whatever, and you feel bad, you could always remind yourself that who is feeling bad, who is feeling sad, who is feeling unhappy. I am feeling unhappy, I am feeling bad, I am feeling sad. Who am I? Remind yourself and say, proclaim, I am Brahman, I am divine, I am limitless, I am complete. Even though the words may or may not make immediate sense, but these words are also very powerful. That in completeness, there cannot be any unhappiness. So I am feeling unhappy really for no reason at all. So this is meant to make us, to release us from all sadness, all unhappiness. Because all unhappiness comes from a sense of smallness, sense of inadequacy, sense that I am inadequate, I am small, I'm not what I like to be. It is from that sense that all our unhappiness comes. Our unhappiness does not come because some birth has taken place or some death has taken place. Not because there has been some gain or some loss. Not because I won or I lost. None of those things need to cause me unhappiness. The reason why they manage to cause unhappiness is because they manage to create the feeling that I am no good. It is our habit that something happens out there and I hold myself responsible, I am responsible, I am no good. So somehow it has become our habit to connect ourselves with everything and conclude, I am no good, I am inadequate, I am incomplete. So whatever happens, if what happens out there manages to create in us this kind of a conclusion, it is that conclusion that makes me unhappy. It's not a given event or a given happening. But when the event or happening manages to create in me this conclusion that I am inadequate, I am not adequate, I am not up to the mark, I am not strong enough, I am not this, I am not that, I am not good, I am inadequate. The moment this kind of conclusion comes about me, I feel very sorry. In fact, I feel very sorry about myself. But then that results into feeling sorry or feeling unhappiness. This must be understood very clearly. This is a very important teaching of Vedanta, that unhappiness is not caused by anything other than myself. I am also not the cause of unhappiness. The world also is not the cause of unhappiness. The only cause of unhappiness is my conclusion or my opinion about myself that I am no good, I am inadequate, I am not up to the mark, I am not what I want to be, I am not what I expect myself to be. It is that conclusion. To that, is this conclusion about myself that I am inadequate, I am not up to the mark, I am not what I want to be, is this the right conclusion? Vedanta says, no, hey, you are Brahman as you are limitless and ever. There is no reason for you to feel that you are inadequate. So really speaking, if we have a reasonably composed mind, then this teaching is adequate to release us from every sorrow. And this sorrow only veils the happiness which is of a nature. If that veil of sorrow is removed, happiness is automatic. because that's our nature. Therefore, here is Atma Tarhi Kaha. What is the nature of Atma? What is the nature of self? Tattvamasi, you are that. What is that? Satchidananda Swarupa. So answer was given. Satchidananda Swarupa. Who am I? I am Satchit Anand Swarupa. I am Sat. I am Chit. I am Ananda. So the next question is, what is the meaning of the Satchit Ananda? What do these words mean? So the questioner asks, what is Sat? Sat Kim? What is the meaning of your Sat? So if Sat Chit Ananda I am, what's the meaning of Sat? What's the meaning of Chit? What's the meaning of Ananda? If I know, then I know what Satchidananda means. So question was asked, Sat Kim? What is the nature of Sat? Answer is given, Kalatrepi Tishtati. It is Sat. So Kalatrepi Tishtati. That which stays in all three periods of time. Who am I? I am the one who stays, who obtains in all the three periods of time. What are these three periods of time? The past, present and future. So what is Sat? Sat is that which stays, which exists, which remains in past, present and future. And I am Sat, meaning that I is that which remains in the past, present and future. What are you saying, Swami? I was born a few years ago. I did not exist before my birth. And I know that someday I am going to die. I will not exist after my death. You say that I was in the past, I am in the present, I will be in the future, but I was not in the past before my birth. I will not be in the future after my death. How do you say I am in the past, present and future? But it says that. That means that birth did not take place, that I was not born. If I was born, then of course a thing does not exist before its birth, no doubt about that. If the birth in fact belonged to I, then certainly I did not exist before the birth. But here I am told that no, you are the one who was, who always was, and who will always be. But I was born. But what was born? This body was born. Although habitually we call this body as I, so the birth of the body is equated to the birth of the self, and I say that I was born. So Vedanta says, no, that is the wrong conclusion. That I was born is a wrong conclusion about me. Say, this body was born, my body was born. That would be the right way of saying. Even better than that would be this body was born. But say, my body was born. Because what is mine is not I. When I say this is my book, it is very clear that I am not the book. My clock, clear that I am not the clock. My body, it's clear that I am not the body. So something was born, no doubt. What was born? The body was born. Something will die also, no doubt. What will die? The body will die. But I is not born by the birth of body. The I does not die by the death of the body. I remains ever the same in the past, present and future. The I is birthless because it always existed in the past. I is deathless because it will always exist in the future. Who am I? Birthless I am. Deathless I am. You can meditate on this. So these are the statements of this, what Tattvabodha teaches us is something we can meditate upon. Because during meditation at least our mind is calm. And even if you are doing some chanting, you are doing some puja, you are doing some japa, whatever you are doing, even if you are not doing anything, still find a quiet time and repeat yourself to repeat this to yourself. I am Sat. Sat Kim. What is Sat? Sat means existence really. Sat means existence. What is existence? Existence is that whose nature is to be. So, to be is my nature. Therefore, I ought to be. That being the case, I am beyond the influence of time. Because whatever is within the realm of time is always subjected to change, and it will perish. It has birth, it has growth, it has decline, it has decay, it has death. Whatever is in the influence of time. But here, I am free from birth, I am free from death, and therefore I am free from change. I am changeless, meaning that I am free from the influence of time. Satyam kalatrevi tishtati, that which stays or remains or obtains in all the three periods of time. That's what I am. Satchit Ananda. The next question is Chit Kim. What is Chit? Sat, Chit, Ananda. Three words are there. First word is Sat, second word is Chit, third word is Ananda. So next question is Chit Kim. What is Chit? Jnana Swabhaha. Chit is of the nature of knowledge, of the nature of consciousness. So you are Sat. To exist, to be is your nature. What's the nature of that being? What's the nature of that existence? Consciousness. What is consciousness? That always reveals itself. That is self-shining, self-revealing. That it always reveals. How does it reveal? As I. So that which reveals itself in my heart as I, that is called consciousness. Not only in my heart, in every living being. So, in all the living beings, including animals, creatures, whatever there are, insects, in all of them, the consciousness shines or reveals itself as I. Jnana Swarupa. That I never changes, that the consciousness never changes. What is consciousness? That which illumines everything. Yesterday, Amma was singing that. Jo Chand, Suraj, Tare, so what is it? Suraj, Chand और तारे को भी जो उजाला, हाँ? रोशनी देता है, हाँ?
अभी क्या लाइन थी वो? उस भजन में क्या लाइन थी जो चांद और सूरज को जो रोशनी देता है? स्वामी जी पूछ रहे हैं।
दीप क्यों जलाओ?
So the one that even illumines the sun and the moon and the fire, how can I show him the lamp? So that is from Upanishads, you know. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vigyato bhanti, uto yamagnihi, tameva bhantam, anubhati sarvam, tasya vasa, sarvavidam vibhati. That shines, Ishvara shines, and the whole world shines after that. In the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that we chant often, the Lord Krishna says that Yadaditya, this light which is in the sun and which is in the moon and which is in the fire that illumines the whole universe, know that to be my light. So what is jnana? Consciousness, that which illumines everything, which illumines our thoughts. So when a thought takes place in my mind, I am aware of the thought. Swami, I was thinking about you. That means I knew that I was thinking. And so I was aware of the thought. How, in what light do I become aware of the thought? In the light of consciousness. So thought arises first, and that becomes the speech. So, in what light do I know? In the light of consciousness. So during the whole day, the thoughts keep on changing. If I hear a word, the thought of the word will take place. If I see a formal color, the thought of the formal color will take place. If I see the cloth thought will take place. If I see a pot, the pot thought will take place. If I see the clock thought takes place. See the table thought takes place. And so the objects of the thought keep on changing, but the one that illumines on the thoughts ever remains the same. Understand? Thoughts keep on parading, like moving. But how do I know the thoughts? There is something that illumines the thoughts, that is the consciousness in the light of which I know the thoughts. So see, from the whole waking state, from morning till evening, throughout the waking state, the thoughts keep on changing and changing and changing. But the one that illumines the thought is ever the same. Like a movie which keeps on changing, with the screen on which the movie is projected is ever the same. So also the consciousness that illumines the thoughts ever remains the same. Same thing in dream state also. In the dream also the thoughts take place. There also I am aware of the thoughts, of the dream thoughts. That also is due to the consciousness. So we know that in the waking state there is consciousness. Dream state, the consciousness is. The question is, when I am fast asleep, in the dreamless sleep, is there consciousness or not? So that is a very big debate, but there is. Because when I wake up in the morning, I said, I slept happily, I slept well. I didn't know anything. So somehow I was aware that I didn't know anything. I slept well. And that also is a light of consciousness. So consciousness ever shines. This example I've given in the past, but just to remind you, in a text called Panchadashi, the author gives a very beautiful example to explain this. He gives the imagery of a theatre. In the olden days, imagine a theatre is there with a stage and the audience, the dancer, the accompaniment, and there is a sponsor who sponsors the whole event. The dancer comes, gives a performance. The audience is watching that and enjoying it and feeling the same kind of emotions that the dancer is expressing. Sometimes happy, sometimes unhappy, and How do you know all of this? In the light of a lamp. In the ceiling, there is a very powerful lamp shining. In the light of that lamp, you see the dancer, see the accompaniment, see the audience, see the theatre, see everything. And then the dance recital is over. The dancer goes back behind the screen, the accompaniments leave, the sponsor leaves, so the audience also leaves. After a while, the whole theatre is empty, there is nobody there. How do you know there is nobody there? Now when the show is over, nobody is left in the theatre. Hey, come on now, find out is anybody left there or not before we close down the theatre. Says, there is nobody there. How do you say there is nobody there? After some time, when you will leave this place where we are sitting right now, nobody will be here. How do you know that there is nobody here?
By the light.
By the light of the lamp. The light of the lamp will illumine the presence of everybody. Light of the lamp illumines also the absence of everybody. So, the things come and things go. But the presence is also illumined by the lamp. The absence also is illumined by the lamp. Similarly also, the thoughts come, the thoughts go. The presence of thought is also illumined by the consciousness. Their absence also is illumined by consciousness. In the waking state, in the dream state, the thoughts are present and that is illumined by consciousness. In deep sleep state, there is no thoughts. The absence of them also is illumined by consciousness. Consciousness always is in all the three states, in the waking, in the dream, in the deep sleep state. Illumining whatever it is. It doesn't matter what is. What matters is that it is all illuminated. That consciousness is self. And see, the consciousness always is. In the waking state also, it is. Dream state also, it is. In the deep sleep also, it is. Today it is. Tomorrow also it is. Day after tomorrow it is. In the past also it was. Isn't it so? Consciousness was yesterday also, today also, tomorrow also. So in the past also it was there. In the present also it is there. In future also it will be there. So what is that? What is that which was in the past, in the present, in the future? What is it that remains in all the three periods of time? Do you remember? What is it that remains in all the three periods of time? Past, present and future. What is it? Do you remember? We just discussed. What is Sat? Kalatrevi tishtari. So that which remains in all the three periods of time. That was called Sat. Just a previous sentence. Now we find, what do we find? This consciousness also was in the past, is in the present, will always be in the future. So what does it mean? Consciousness is what? Sat. Because consciousness also is in all the three periods of time. And that which is in the three periods of time is called Sat. So consciousness or Chit alone is Sat, isn't it? So Satchit, Ananda are not three things. Don't think Sat is different, Chit is different, Ananda is different. What is Sat is Chit. What is Chit is Sat. Then third is Ananda. So then the next question, Ananda kaha, what's the nature of Ananda? Sukha swarupa, of the nature of happiness. Understand what Atma means I, When we talk of Atma, who you are talking about, who we are talking about? I, of ourselves. So this is story of ourselves. Vedanta is the Katha. तो आप जब राम कथा में जाते हैं, when you go to Ram Katha, then it is the Katha of Rama. When you go to Srimad Bhagavatam, it's Katha of Lord Krishna. When you go to Shiva Purana, it's the Katha of Lord Shiva. So Devi Bhagavatam is Katha of Devi. When you come to Vedanta, there is also Katha. Whose Katha? Katha of myself. So Ananda kaha, Sukha Swarupa. What's the nature of Ananda? Ananda is of the nature of Sukha or happiness. What is my nature? Happiness. Now that such Chit were relatively easy to understand. This happiness is difficult to understand. Swami, are you trying to say that I am happiness? Happiness is my nature. If that is so, then why should I feel sad ever? See, heat is the nature of fire. No, fire never feels cold, it's always hot, is it not so? Brightness is the nature of sun, it's always bright, there is no darkness in sun. Similarly, if happiness is my nature, should it not be that I should be happy all the time? See, Sat is my nature, because so I know that I always am. Chit is my nature, so I know that I am always conscious. Ananda is my nature, I should be able to say, I am happiness all the time, but that is not so. That is where the problem is. If happiness also was as evident as Sat and Chit, no Vedanta would have been necessary. There will be no samsara, is it not? Suppose we are all happy all the time. Just as honey is sweet all the time. Honey doesn't do anything to become sweet. Sugar need not do to become sweet. If sweetness is nature of sugar, it must be sweet all the time. In the morning, afternoon, evening, today, tomorrow, day after, to you, to me, anybody tastes sugar must be sweet. Then it's called the nature. Similarly, if happiness is the nature of I should be happy in afternoon, morning, evening, today, tomorrow, day after, here, outside, anywhere. But that's not so. It's only now and then momentarily I'm happy, but generally speaking, Swami, my boss is a different matter, my mother-in-law, my daughter-in-law, my this-law, and my that-law, and my spouse. Difficult. So, this is what is Vedantic teaching. Hey, even when you think that you are sad, really happiness is your nature. It is happiness that is feeling sad. Do you believe that? It is happiness that is feeling sad. But doesn't make sense, Swami. Happiness, feeling sad is a contradiction in our life. And this is a big thing. That there is a contradiction in our life. What we feel about ourselves is quite contrary to what Vedanta teaches us. Vedanta says that happiness is your nature, which I don't feel. Swamiji, I'm happy when I eat parotha. I'm happy when I eat kheer, That's when I'm happy. So without kheer, happiness is difficult. Kheer is there, happiness is there. Kheer is not there, happiness is not there. Now where is happiness? In kheer. Movie is there, happiness is there. Movie is not there, happiness is not there. So where is happiness? In the movie. But if happiness is in kheer, then it will be a nice thing. All you need is to stuff our our refrigerator or our kitchen with kheer, that's all. You don't feel good, have a little kheer. No, Swami, you get bored then afterwards. It's just the first katori that you can enjoy. Wow, at the most the second half of the katori. Second katori. How many katoris can you enjoy? Then you want to say, no sweet now anymore. If happiness was the key, then we should be happy every time we enjoy, we eat kheer. That's not so. Is there something that you can name, any one of you, which you can call a definite source of happiness? You will be definitely happy when you have that thing, that person, that situation, that place, that object. Can anybody name anything? After we have lived 50 years, 60 years, whatever number of years we have lived, but have we found out something like that so far?
Unconditional love.
But that's not where say you name a thing. Unconditional love is not a thing.
From a child, from a person, doesn't qualify.
It can qualify, but then can you get that? Can you say that the person means unconditional love?
Hopefully.
Have you ever experienced unconditional always from any person, or even from any child for that matter?
I think that's the ideal. You're right.
When you are on with yourself,
Don't say when. I say name an object or a person or a situation which without condition gives you happiness.
Something being in nature gives you happiness.
Always?
Always.
That's good. Then live in the nature. Why do you live in the house? Why do you do anything else? Just live in the nature. That's why we want to create nature in our own homes, so we have flowers and we have small plants and we have a garden and everything else. So go and sit in the garden all the time. You'll be happy. But in the garden also I can be equally miserable. In the same nature also I can be quite unhappy. There is no rule that nature means happiness, a child means happiness, a person means happiness, an object means happiness.
You can be 2-3 things. Combination, right now we are feeling happy.
Or a combination of number of things.
Yeah.
So that also you cannot say. Swamiji, if nature is there, and then my spouse also is there, and then nice cup of coffee also is there, and then sun is also shining, and then all these conditions are there, good. Sit there, keep drinking coffee. How many cups of coffee will you drink? How long will you chat with the spouse? How long will you sit in the sun? How long? Everything, understand, gives conditional happiness. Nothing, whatever, gives unconditional happiness. You should know that. Nothing, whatever, gives us unconditional happiness. Conditional. As long as conditions are satisfied, as long as the sun is shining. The moment the cloud comes, I get depressed on it. Oh, the temperature must be right. It's too cold, I can't. It's too hot. The spouse also must be in good mood, you know. In good mood. So, neither you nor anybody in the world has discovered a thing, otherwise they would market it by all means, you know. They would certainly market it and do all sorts of advertisements will be there, that here is the pill, unconditional happiness. Take this pill. They tried all those pills also. Take you high and low and all kinds of experiences are there, so what? How long will they last? And then there is all these withdrawal symptoms. So far, nobody has discovered anything that can give you unconditional happiness. So it's a mixture of things. That's why we keep on creating mixtures. So in the house now we have furniture, and we have radio, and we have stereo, and we have this, and we have iPad, and iPhone, and computer, and internet. We keep on surrounding ourselves with hundreds of things. Not this, then go there. But even a combination, can you say that, yes, Swami, I know this combination, after this, after that, then? No such thing. There is no guarantee at all that any given that internet will always make you happy. No. Or the music also will always make you happy, and there's no guarantee. There's one place where there is unconditional happiness. You know where? You. Oh, Swami, what are you talking? Then I would not need anything. You guys, it's true. How do you say that I or the self is happiness? Because, see, by logically we can say that. That you just said, one of you said, the unconditional love. So where love is there, that happiness is. Isn't it so? Where there is love, there is happiness. And where there is unconditional love, there is unconditional happiness, right? Where there is unconditional love, there is unconditional happiness. Is there anybody in the world whom you love unconditionally? You started all right, but slowly and slowly conditions kept on creeping in. Because we are human beings, we are needy people. And therefore, basic condition is, as long as somebody satisfies my needs, so long that person or object remains the object of my love. When they threaten me, when they violate my needs, when they make me unhappy, no, they no more remain the object of love. Is it not so? We love people, we love the world. But conditionally, what is the condition? Condition is that they should be helpful to me, useful to me, favorable to me. When even the nearest person also becomes unfavorable, becomes a pain in the neck, then our love evaporates. Is not so? So, there is nothing in the world that we live unconditionally. We love unconditionally. If there was something like that, there would have been unconditional happiness. But that's not so. Is there something that we love unconditionally? There is. What is it? Myself. See, my love for myself is unconditional. At all the times, at all the places, and all conditions. Always love myself. As the Swami says, when this fellow wakes up in the morning, first thing he does is looks at his face in the mirror. before shower, after shower, then any time there is an occasion, I always take the opportunity to look at myself in the mirror. That shows what? Love for myself. Even any shining surface which reflects my face, however distorted the reflection may be, still I like to watch. That shows that love for the self is unconditional. I love myself unconditionally. I never hate myself. Oh, Swami, I hate myself. Very often.
No, because the inadequacy people feel, that means they not like it.
Yeah. But what do you not like is not the self. Inadequacy you don't like.
Inadequacy. So that's suffering.
The body I may not like. The mind I may not like. Inadequacy I may not like. But because I like the self, that's why I don't like those things. The reason why I do not like something is because I like the self. So the reason why I like something is also because I like the self. And that I do not like something also is because I like the self. So when I like somebody, when that somebody is helpful to me, useful to me, favorable to me, then that person remains the object of my love. So through that person, ultimately I love myself because that person facilitates my love for myself. So when he is a person also an object of love, when that person facilitates my love for myself, when I'm at ease with myself, when I'm happy with myself, when I'm comfortable. So if you create in me a comfort for myself by some good words, by some good food, by some good gift, by some good words, you make me feel good about myself. And so I'm happy with myself. And therefore I like you. But suppose you say some nasty words which make me feel bad about myself, then I dislike you. So you observe all the relationships. How long do we like somebody? As long as that person makes me feel good about myself. By treating me well, by talking well with me, by doing whatever I like, as long as they do, so long I like them. But in that liking, really, what is involved is like for myself. Understand that. In love for somebody else also, it is love for myself that is involved. Because that somebody is object of love, as long as the somebody facilitates my love for myself, as long as somebody makes me feel good about myself, so long I love that person, I love that object. That is why a pet is the best, more than even our children. Because children talk back, the pets don't talk back. As long as my child was an infant, did not talk back, so long it was an object of my greatest love. But once it grew up to 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then had his own little ego, had his own likes and dislikes, says, no ma, please do my child, why should I do that? This switch off the TV, do I have to? And, our love slowly starts diminishing. And by the time they get to be teenagers and they start talking back and they start, telling you all kinds of things, how stupid you are, how you don't understand anything, etc. That's the end of it. But a pet is good, never talks back. Because talking is only to human beings, given to human beings, not to anybody else. And a pet talks in its own language perhaps, but it always is good at it. Because its expectations are very few. What does it want from you? Just a few biscuits and few things like that, that's enough. You are happy to do that for your child, but then the child keeps demanding more and more and more and more. A dog is happy. Take out for a walk. Just pat him, caress him, happy. But then also, the reason why a person loves the pet dog is because the dog gives unconditional love.
Yes.
But in so doing, the dog ultimately, in presence of dog, I am happy because I feel good about myself. Next time you feel happy, you just look into this. What is the reason why you feel happy? Because you feel good about yourself. You are comfortable with yourself. You are at peace with yourself. The dog has a magic that it makes you comfortable with yourself. Anything that does it, that is the source of happiness. Except nothing can do it forever. Nothing can do it forever. So that, from all of this, what is the lesson that we will learn? Is that there is one thing that I love unconditionally, and that is myself. Everything else is loved conditionally. As long as they make me feel good about myself, as long as they are helpful to me, useful to me, favorable to me. Upakaraka means serving me, helping me, useful to me. Make me feel good about myself. So love for the self is unconditional love. And if love is happiness, then self is also unconditional happiness, is not so? Swami, on one hand you say that I hate myself. We don't hate ourselves. As I said, I hate the inadequacy in myself. I don't hate myself, but inadequacy I hate. But unfortunately, I lump them together. I do not realize that inadequacy belongs to my mind and doesn't belong to I, because the two things are lumped together. So my conclusion is that I am inadequate and therefore I don't like myself. You follow? There is inadequacy somewhere. Where? In the mind. Oh, I could not remember. Recall that line. How idiot I am, how stupid I am. We blame ourselves like that. Oh, I could not recollect that line. I could not recollect that word. What was that name? To the tip of my tongue, but I still could not. So sometimes we can't remember names, can't remember lines, can't remember the right word. We feel frustrated. And I hate myself for that. But I hate what? That frustration, which is in mind. So really I hate my mind, because mind has failed me. But because there is a habitual identification of the mind, I do not see the difference that the hatefulness is in the mind, but I equate myself with the mind. Therefore, I say that I hate myself. You follow? So when we dislike ourselves, it is not the self that we dislike, but it is something that we dislike which we lump together with the self. Swami, I can't remember now. Okay, the memory is what you have a problem with. A problem with myself. I can't remember, Swami. But your problem is memory. But memory and I are joined and lumped together, and then I say that I do not like myself. But suppose we could separate the two. The problem is in the memory. Problem is in the mind. Problem is wherever. So every time I try to make this particular dish, I cannot get it right. I feel frustrated. Now again, that inadequacy is in the mind. But we have a habit of always identifying with the mind, identifying with the body. So I participated in a marathon and Swamiji was nowhere. I I practiced for 1 year and still I could not even make it, could not finish it. I was too thirsty, I don't know, I was too perspiring, I was too tired, too exhausted. Again, what I do not like is inadequacy of the body, understand? But because habitually we equate the body with ourselves, therefore I say, I don't like myself, you follow? It's not that we don't like ourselves, we do not like something about this body-mind complex. And because we habitually identify with that body-mind complex, therefore the dislike for something in the body-mind complex is equated to dislike in myself. You follow this? समझ में आया? So even next time I hate myself, then remind yourself, what do I hate? I hate my memory. I hate the lack of the skill. I hate a given lack or inadequacy in the mind, in the body. I need not have to equate them. The inadequacy belongs to the body. The inadequacy belongs to the mind. I'm not inadequate, I'm the knower of the inadequacy. Is it not so? How would you otherwise know the inadequacy unless you are aware of it? So the one who is aware is different from the object of awareness. Is it not so? So next time if you feel frustrated, two-step approach. Step back. Stop, look, go. I'm frustrated. Now that's one-step approach. Two-step approach is what? Where is frustration? Frustration is in the mind. Who am I? I am aware or knower of frustration. Is it not so? The knower is always different from what is known. So frustration is known to me. So who am I? I am the one, the knower of frustration, free from frustration. Oh, I did not get it right, Swamiji. Okay. What did not get it right? The mind did not get it right. Who are you? You are the knower of that mind. Is it not so? So I was late. I missed bus. I missed this. I missed my flight. Frustration. Who was late? The mind was late. The ego was late. Who am I? I am the knower of that late ego. Is it not so? So we have to learn to create distance. What I am saying is, even the frustrations or whatever experiences happen, even they also can be used to learn something. So at least get that benefit. If you were unhappy, okay, but get the benefit of unhappiness, learn something that the inadequacy was here, not in I. Still it may not make you feel good but still at least you have created that kind of a distance, And therefore it says, evam satchidananda swarupam svatmanam vijaniyat. In this manner, may one know oneself to be of the nature of existence, consciousness, happiness. Who am I? Satchit Ananda. Sat, existence. Chit, consciousness. Ananda, happiness. It is this knowledge that is a liberating knowledge. How does this knowledge come? By constantly practicing this. By constantly creating a distance and not identification habitual. We are born with the habit of identifying with the body. We are born with the habit of identifying with the mind. And then superimposing upon ourselves the inadequacies of body and the mind. There is no need to do that. At least you can remind yourself that look, this is what I am doing. See, because of identifying the mind, I am feeling like this. If I could create a distance of the mind, I would not have felt like that. It is that much we can learn. Evam Satchidananda Swarupam Swatmanam Vijaniyat. One should know the Swatma, the self, as Satchidananda Swarupam. One has to know Vijaniyat. In Sanskrit, this is the grammatical use which says one should do. So the translation, one may one know, or one should know. This is our duty. Meaning that Vedanta is teaching that, hey, you have to do this. So, just as we are told to do this action, this duty, that duty, so you have to go to work, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do. Similarly, you have to know this. That I am Satchidananda. Because that is a liberating knowledge. Unless that knowledge comes, nothing else can give me any kind of sustained happiness. Things do give me. So paratha is good, kheer is good, this is good, that is good. All of that gives you what? Momentary happiness. Then you will suffer later on with all the calories, with all the, with all the weight gain, all the calorie gain. So this happiness, which is very sweet in the beginning, is pretty bitter at the end. You may indulge in that happiness, I'm not saying, that's okay. But the thing is, knowingly you do that. Become aware. Remain aware all the time. Why am I doing this? Oh, Swami, because I need a break. Okay. I need a break, that's why I'm indulging in this. Okay. Doing knowingly, not habitually. We do things habitually, mechanically, and never learn. But if we do them consciously, even from mistakes also we will learn. So what is important is to become awareful in our life, in whatever we do. To such an extent that we should be awareful even in our conclusions. That I am miserable, I am this, I am frustrated, I am no good. Okay. Stop and ask ourselves, where is that no goodness? That no goodness belongs to the mind or the intellect or the body or somewhere. So keep learning by being awareful. So this is the lesson that we did last year also. We just want to recap that for you, and tomorrow we'll proceed further. Om